Assalamu alaikum. So unfortunately, Muhammad wants me to say something interesting, but I'm actually going to talk about something completely different. I'm going to talk about fish. Who likes fish? Sidi Imran's from Bangladesh. Who likes fish? What kind of fish do you like, Sidi? Okay, so brothers, who likes fish? Ashar, what's your favorite type of fish? Tuna. Sisters? Salmon? Norwegian salmon? Anything? Anything else? Does anybody like eels? No? Okay, fine. So, inshallah, after some of the words, inshallah, you might hear from me. We might think differently about how we think about fish. Now, one of my first and most beloved sheikhs that ever taught me was Sheikh Abdul Aziz Fredericks. Inshallah, many of you might have studied with him. He's not only a fantastic teacher, but he's also someone who's very, very inspiring and very serious in his studies and his teaching. And he began one of our lessons talking about fish in the same way that I did today. So inshallah, the first lesson I'm teaching you is following your sheikhs, following your teachers, because he spoke about fish, so I'm going to talk about fish. So he said, the same question, does everyone like fish? And then he mentioned this hadith to us from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, Bismillah. It's rated from Abu Darda. Now Abu Darda was, he grew to an old age, and he was and many people sought knowledge from him, and that's why we have so many hadiths from him. And he says, may Allah be well pleased with him and benefit him for every single word and every single benefit that comes from this. He says, سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول. He said, I heard the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم saying. And the Sahaba, despite we have so many hadiths, they were very fearful to say, I heard the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم say things. And many of the Sahaba, they would refrain from mentioning hadiths unless it was dire need, because they thought that it was such a tremendous thing to say, Qala Rasulullah, the Messenger of Allah said this, and they were very fearful of ever making any mistakes. And so when we hear this, Qala Rasulullah, it's not just something we should get used to, it's something tremendous, something that Sahaba rarely did. And they would only do so because there was something really tremendous that they really need to give to us. So he says, Qala Rasulullah, he said, I sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam yaqul, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying, من سلك طريقا يبتغي فيه علما سهل الله له طريقا إلى الجنة. Whoever treads a path seeking therein sacred knowledge, Allah will make easy for him the path unto paradise. And so what does this mean? This means that whoever turns to Allah, even though they might do so incorrectly, they might do so in a bad way, they might do so not knowing how to do it in a proper way, the mere fact that they turn to Allah, Allah turns to them. Okay, the mere fact that Allah turns to Allah, Allah turns to them, and Allah opens the doors to them and makes things easy for them. And he continues, says, وَإِنَّ الْمَلَائِكَةَ لَتَضَعُ أَجْنِحَتِهَا لِطَالِبِ الْعِلْمِ رِضًا بِمَا يَصْنَعُ. And truly the angels, they lower their wings for the person seeking sacred knowledge out of pleasure for that which he is doing. Okay, the angels, that they could be busy doing all sorts of other things, they come to you and they say, because you are seeking Allah's pleasure, we are pleased with you and we want to be close to you. And so the ulama, they say that, well, what does this mean? How can angels put their wings around you? This obviously must be metaphorical. They say no, the default is that anything that the Prophet ﷺ tells us about is literally true, unless there's some other indications. It's possible it means something else. But the soundest and most obvious way you understand this is that physically around us right now are angels, and they are lowering their wings around us, and that's actually what's happening. And so that's the default. And it's possible it means something else, but that's what we should be feeling. So when we're in class, we shouldn't be looking at the teacher. Ignore the teacher. Think about the angels around you. Okay? And that's what we should be thinking about. And then this is the point about the fish. Okay? Because we all like fish. I like fish. And I like to eat fish, but after today we have to think in a different way when we're eating fish, because it says وَإِنَّ الْعَالِمَ لَيَسْتَغْفِرُ لَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ حَتَّى الْحِيتَانُ فِي الْمَاءِ. And he said, truly the alim, the one who knows, and that includes anyone who knows anything and is applying it. So the mere fact that you had the knowledge to know that you have to learn, this means you're an alim. Okay? And he says what it says, لَيَسْتَغْفِرُ has a lam here, it says la, this means I swear. the Prophet ﷺ is swearing by something. Could be swearing by Allah, could be swearing by something tremendous. He's saying, I swear. Okay, and where I'm from, they say, I swear down. Right, this is kind of, they say, لَيَسْتَغْفِرُ لَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ حَتَّى الْحِيتَانُ فِي الْمَاءِ. Every single person on the face of the earth, and every single person, soul or being in the heavens seeks forgiveness for him. حَتَّى الْحِيتَانُ فِي الْمَاءِ. Even the fish in the sea. So next time you're eating delicious Norwegian salmon, you think this fish literally, because the Prophet ﷺ told us, sought forgiveness for you while it was alive. And it may well be that it's whatever the food that you're eating at that time, because you're eating it for the sake of Allah, it itself is even seeking forgiveness for you. And so, it's narrated from Imam Sha'rani, he got to a stage where he could see Allah's mercy in everything. And one time he put a cup down on a table, and the cup went ow. So he said after that day when the cup went ow, when he put it down specifically, he knew that every single thing in creation was marhum, was shown mercy from Allah, and it had to be treated with mercy. And so even the fish that you eat, even if you fry it, you should fry it, with mercy.